Alright, welcome back to Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. We are still powering our way through the first level of the game, which, as I said in the first video, is probably my least favorite level in the game. The whole concept behind this game and why I was pretty excited for it, just aside from it being, you know, the first No More Heroes game in a very, very long time, it was basically a celebration of indie games and just retro games in general. So each level was going to be somewhat based on another game, another series, another actual established franchise, or kind of, you know, in the same vein of something like that. And this one is nothing. It's a boring level. You go through a couple different locations. None of them are interesting. Or I will say, I think the next video will start with an actual interesting location from the first level. But just the fact that the first level is like 3 videos in length is, I don't think, very good. I think that is annoying. So those guys you want to clear out as quickly as possible, because they're going to try and get close to you, and they're going to try and blow you up, basically. So they are not enemies that you really want to fool around with. So you just want to time yourself here. There's a lot of hidden stuff. So if you go back or to the side, you know, there's some goodies around here. Some Unreal coins or some Azteca coins, whatever they're called. You know, usually good caches of like gold. I will say, one thing that I was annoyed at first, but I kind of like now, is the aspect ratio of this game, because it's not full screen, it's not widescreen. It's letterboxed, which I think is interesting. It's an interesting look. Again, if they're going for like a retro game feel, it makes sense. And the intros, we only saw a very brief intro in this, the first video for this level. But they do some really interesting stuff with, like, intros to stages that kind of show you what the level's going to be about, or what the boss is going to be about. And those are some of my favorite parts in this game, because they do a really fantastic job of making it look like and feel like the era in which it was made. Like, one is like a kind of a PS1 era, like awful FMV. Another one is kind of like a 360 era game. And it's just, I think they did a really good job with the presentation. Again, the soundtrack, the story, graphically, I think it looks good. The feeling of, you know, emulating a classic game, they did all really well. It's just some of the gameplay stuff is, you know, maybe not going to be for everybody. So that's what makes this game kind of an oddity, in my opinion. I again, really enjoy this game, but I wouldn't put it nearly, you know, anywhere near any of the other No More Heroes games. And yeah, there's another weird thing that we'll get into later, but they make you replay levels. I mean, they don't make you, but if you're a completionist like myself, you're gonna want to do it. So, yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. There's some weird stuff in this game, not gonna lie. I do have the physical edition of this, which came with the DLC, which I've never actually, I still have not played the DLC, where you can play as Shinobu and you can play as Bad Girl, which I've never touched either of those stories. Or I don't even think, because I thought it was going to be new levels where you played as them, but I believe it's literally just levels that you've already played that you can now play as Shinobu and Bad Girl. Which, again, both of their actors returned, which is surprising. You know, because they basically just, all they contribute to this is just some grunts here and there. Also, I'm gonna forget this, but you can fall off of these things. So at one point, I'm gonna just start running or rolling because I think it's faster, maybe. But yeah, I'm gonna start rolling, and I'm just gonna roll right off the side because I completely forgot that you could fall off of this. This is like, I don't even know if this is supposed to be like a puzzle because it's not very difficult. Cutting it close there, almost falling off. Yeah, that's such a useful move. I wonder which ones they're going to bring over, because some of them, I think if you were to bring them over into No More Heroes 3, it would kind of break the game. Because not to get ahead of myself here, but there is a skill chip that lets you kind of heal. It, like, forms a circle around you, and you could heal if you stay in the circle. Is this where I completely eat shit? Yep, there you go. That one I could see very easily breaking the game, just like straight up. But I guess, like, what's the difference of that and, like, in a character action game, being able to heal? Because No More Heroes, you really couldn't do that unless you found an item. But, you know, like, games like Bayonetta and, like, Devil May Cry and stuff, you can find healing items. Oh, that was weird that they didn't do that in Devil May Cry 5. That was one of the things that it didn't hit me until I was like halfway done that game. I was like, wait a minute, I can't heal myself like on command. Because that was such a staple. You could do that in any of the other games. But at the end of the day, you really didn't need it. Yeah, I will say this game runs well. I don't know if I can say the same for No More Heroes 1 and 2 on the Switch. There is a lot of like slowdown and frame rate whackery in that. This one stays a fairly consistent 60 frames a second, which is nice. You know, I never was a frame rate guy until, I swear to God, the PS5. Because, like, I've been replaying Spider-Man PS4 on the PS5, and the fact that they have a graphics mode and a performance mode means you can actually see the difference between 60 frames a second and like 30 frames a second. I played Spider-Man on the PS4 and didn't even notice that it wasn't 60 frames a second. Like, I think I did all those videos in 60 frames, but that game runs in 30 on the PS4. Which I didn't even notice, because if your brain doesn't really notice the frame rate, you know, for me anyway, there's no way to tell. So actually being able to press a button and go, this is frame rate mode, this is graphics mode, it's like, oh, this is like unplayable on 30 frames a second now. You know, being able to see it in 60 and then change it to 30 is like, oh, this is unplayable. So I'm glad that they have the performance and graphics mode. And that's going to be a real thing. I mean, you'd think that in the era of 4K and everything now, we'd be able to merge them and have more games that run at 60 and 4K. But it doesn't seem to be the case. I don't have a TV that can do like anything higher than 60, so I haven't been able to play like 120 frames Devil May Cry 5, which I was kind of looking forward to. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of look at that guy and watch him explode, but I did not realize how big of an area that explosion really has. Also, this was an oddity. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on here, why I couldn't talk to Bugstra. But I think I had to just kill the enemies first. Because as soon as I do that, I can go back and talk to him. He's just kind of fun. He's a fun character to talk to. He's got some weird stuff to say. Let's be Careful, let's not get shocked immediately. Yeah, his grandpa's words of wisdom are quite entertaining sometimes, like when he starts talking about fast food and everything like that. Also, just a great design. Like, the designs on the side are great, too. Also, I am still waiting for limited run games to ship out my collector's editions of No More Heroes 1 and 2 for the Switch. I'm very excited for those, and I'm really hoping that they're going to be sent out before No More Heroes 3 comes out, because I haven't played No More Heroes 2 since I Let's Played that, and I would very much so like to revisit that before 3 comes out. Of course, I bought No More Heroes 1 on the Switch the day it came out, because I was like, oh, I gotta pick this up. Not thinking that they were gonna do a physical release of it. But, yeah. I'm just a dope who owns, what, 4 copies now of No More Heroes 1? I mean, it's one of my favorite games, but 4 copies? Got it on the Wii, I got the PS3 version, digitally on the Switch, and physically on the Switch. That's, maybe a little much. I did not mean to do that. Thankfully, there's a turlet here, which means I can just refill all my health. Come on, this is obviously a No More Heroes game. You use the toilet to save. How could people not think this is a No More Heroes game? Yeah, some of the things that I'm very much so excited for in No More Heroes 3, like, I go kind of back and forth between this all the time, like, which one do I like better gameplay-wise? No More Heroes 1 or 2? I know story-wise, a lot of people have issues with 2, and I guess I do too, but I'd say some of the combat is, like, way better in 2, but it also has a lot of other stuff that's missing, like the open world, and the mini games that you get to, you know, to get money for. I'm very glad all of that is returning. As soon as all they had to do was show Travis mowing a lawn, and I was in. I was like, that is incredible that they showed that in a trailer. Dial it back on the pillow talk. Mid-bosses are usually silent. That's, anytime I try and do Travis, Master Miller always just kind of comes out for some reason. So these guys, I would say, are probably the most annoying enemies in the game. The boss battles at the end of levels really aren't that bad. The mid-bosses are almost always worse than the actual bosses. And I really can't explain why. I just think it's weird. Very strange. See, there was a stored input there. I was talking about that in the first video where it just stores a lot of your inputs. So you'll just see Travis attacking nothing or rolling away from nothing. See, that's annoying. That attack didn't come out, but it still counted as being used. So now I have to wait for that to get filled up again. Okay, you gotta get out of here, fuckhead. I just appreciate when a video game character talks like I do. You know, because I'm always here mashing buttons saying, fuck off, fuck you, fuck out of here. And Travis is just doing the exact same thing. You know, he's just yelling, fuck off! Calling enemies fuckheads. It's just good stuff. Really good stuff. So yeah, there's a visual novel aspect of this game that kind of fills in the story beats. And, if I record those live, I'm gonna have to try and do my Travis impression. 2020 release date. Good luck. That's not very good. It either ends up sounding like Master Miller or Garrus Vakarian from Mass Effect. Those are the two things.
I'm Garrus Vicarian, and this is my favorite spot on the Citadel.
Neither one are very good, the impressions. Whatever it sounds like, it doesn't sound like it enough. This was pretty heartbreaking, because I think I'm about to die here. And it may be in the stupidest way possible. And also, there's literally a, what do you call it? There is a turret, like, right off screen. And that annoyed me quite a bit. As soon as I saw that, I was like, all I had to do was survive the attack. And I would have been fine. Would have been A-okay. So yeah, it's gonna be coming up here. The coins and these, like, Unreal logos do actually serve a purpose. But we'll get into that when we get back to, Travis's trailer. So you can see Travis isn't exactly doing too well here. That's okay. I wish that there was a way to, like, buy extra lives or something like that, because I would be doing that at the beginning of every level. Just because it's heartbreaking, especially in this game, where you play through a level and they'll range anywhere between, like, 30 minutes to an hour. So if you're 40 minutes into a level and then you get a game over, that is just one of the worst things that could ever happen to you. If I remember correctly, you keep your level ups and stuff like that, but that's still not a great consolation, in my opinion. Fuck off, indeed. So yeah, things are going to go awry very quickly here. I mean, you can see I don't have much health left, but yeah, things are about to be very bad for Mr. Touchdown. Which, by the way, it just happened again yesterday at the point where I'm recording this, but Dante was just announced in Smash as a Mii Fighter costume, which is heartbreaking. Not as heartbreaking as when they announced it with Travis. Travis, I was positive, was a shoo-in for Smash. You know, he's kind of a secondary franchise that maybe not a ton of people know about. So putting Travis in Smash is such a good advertisement for No More Heroes 3 that I felt it was such a shoo-in, such an obvious idea. And he's such a beloved character. People love Travis. You know, it's shocking that they didn't do it. It's so weird. I think, I don't know. Maybe if he's in the next one, but that was a serious disappointment. So we are approaching the end of this video. Tune in next time where we finally finish this first level. So see you then.